So good evening, friends. Welcome to the daily answer writing, where we will pick up an editorial which is important from the point of view of CSE mains examination syllabus. We'll try to analyze the editorial and we will try to link with the syllabus of the UPSC, and then we will pick one question on the editorial. We'll see what kind of questions can be framed on that editorial, and we will try to write a model answer. Let me just show you the editorial. Okay, so this is the editorial. The editorial is about drug resistance. The editorial is about drug resistance. Okay, it says that is drug resistance the next pandemic. So drug resistance is going to be the next pandemic. Okay, before I start explaining the content of the editorial, it is very important for you to understand the concept of drug resistance. Okay, so I will try to make you understand in a very simple language. I will try to explain what is this drug resistance. Suppose this is the human body, and suppose there are various kinds of microbes inside your body. Okay, and suppose they are creating some disease, suppose they are leading to some infection. Okay, so what you do, you have taken an antibiotic, you have taken an antibiotic pill, you took an antibiotic pill, and that antibiotic pill, what it did, it killed most of the bacterial microbe, it killed most of the microbial microbe. Okay, bacterial microbe. But what will happen, that few of the microbial bacteria, okay, they will remain, and since they have remained, what would happen, that they will under the stress of this antibiotics, they will mutate. Okay, so these bacteria will become resistant to this antibiotic. That is what is called antibiotic resistance. Okay, is this clear? So it has to do with mutation. Okay, so why does this antibiotic resistance happen? So one is what it happens naturally also, but the natural process is very slow. It takes years and years for antimicrobial resistance to develop. Okay, because it's a natural process also. Naturally also, this bacteria, if antibiotics we are using on these bacteria, so few of the bacteria will survive and they will try to mutate, and these bacteria will become antibiotic resistance. Okay, so drug resistance, this will become drug resistance. But what has happened is that with the irrational use, you have the word is irrational, with the irrational use of antibiotics, with the overuse of antibiotics, okay, and also use of antibiotics in animal husbandry. Okay, animal husbandry. What has happened is that the natural process has become very fast. Okay, it has turned out in an artificial process which is very fast. Now because we are misusing this antibiotics, we are misusing these drugs. Okay, so bacteria and other microbes are becoming drug resistant very easily, and throughout the world it is now causing more number of deaths than any other disease. I repeat myself, antibiotic resistance or drug resistance is the cause of the maximum number of deaths throughout the world, more than any other disease. So it is said that antimicrobial resistance or drug resistance is going to be the next big pandemic. So I will tell you this was the context, because understanding these basic concepts are very important. When you read these editorials, my friend, many of the students, I'm telling you, many of the students, see, I have prepared for this examination, luckily or unluckily, okay, I prepared for this examination 6 times. Okay, I cracked all the 6 prelims, and I was fortunate enough to write all the 6 mains. Okay. And I cracked 4 times mains also. So my experience of preparation of this mains examination is that many of the times what happens is that aspirants, they spend a lot of time in reading editorials. Okay. So that is good. I'm not denying the fact that reading editorials are not going to help you in the mains examination or in the interview stage. Okay. Sometimes editorials will help you in the prelims question also. But you must keep in mind that editorials do not explain you the concept. The basic concept they are not going to explain, because these editorials are written for a general public. They are not written for some examination in mind. The author of the editorial does not have that one person is reading this for any examination purpose. He is not writing from that purpose. Okay. So many a time basic concepts which are behind that development, that is not covered in the editorial, because the editorial become then very big. Okay. So they just tell the problem, and then they analyze the problem and they give solutions. Any editorial is of this kind only. So whenever you read editorials, and particularly the science editorials, please try to understand. Please do some Google, please do some YouTube searches, and please try to understand what is this process, because UPSC many a times ask simple questions on conceptual understanding, why this antimicrobial resistance happens. So I hope that this is very clear. Okay, let us now start. That the editorial says that COVID-19 has left. Okay, what? Reflection. Okay, COVID-19 has left us reflecting on what? The health of the public health system. And in this context, it says that antimicrobial resistance is the next health crisis which the world is going to face. Antimicrobial resistance. Okay, that is the next crisis which the world is going to face. Okay, then it tells what are the reasons how this antimicrobial resistance happens, which I have already explained to you, so I need not go through that. Then what it goes on to explain how the World Health Assembly came out with a global action plan on AMR, antimicrobial resistance, in May 2015. So this is a very important point which you can note down, because understand one thing. Okay, these pandemics will not be restricted to one country or one geographical region. Okay, they will spread throughout the world. So problems of global dimension must have to be tackled at the global level only. It cannot be tackled at a national level or a sub-regional level. Okay, so the World Health Assembly, which is the highest decision-making body as far as health is concerned, has in the year 2015 taken a plan, global action plan on AMR. Okay, this is one point which needs to be noted down. Similarly, India has also adopted this plan, and in the year 2017, see, 2015 the global plan, and 2017 India has come out with a national action plan on antimicrobial resistance combating. Okay, that is the plan. So these are two important facts which you need to note, and any question comes on antimicrobial resistance, my friend, please talk about these two plans. Okay, please talk about these two plans. Further, what the editorial mentions is that the approach of the global action plan on antimicrobial resistance and the national action plan on antimicrobial resistance is One Health approach. One Health approach. This is very important. One Health approach. What is this One Health approach, my friends? As when I started discussion of this editorial, my friends, I have told you that this irrational and overuse of these antibiotics, not just by humans, but also in animal husbandry, poultry, okay, has been responsible for this spread of antimicrobial resistance. So One Health approach is an approach which basically includes not just human health, but also plant health and animal health. So when we have to tackle this antimicrobial resistance, we don't have to just tackle antimicrobial resistance at the level of humans, but we have to also discuss at the level of the plants and at the level of animals, because antibiotics are being used in plants also, and they are being used in animals also. And there many a times they are used as growth stimulators. Let me just write it down for you. Growth stimulators. So antibiotics are used as growth stimulators, and that leads to a lot of overuse and subsequent antibiotic resistance. Okay. Then what it says that the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has merged the schemes to strengthen the branches of National Center for Disease Control. So this is another term which you can make use of. National Center for Disease Control you can mention. Okay. Then you can talk about some budgetary allocation. Facts are mentioned that budgetary allocation of 52 crores have been made in the last year for fighting this antimicrobial resistance. And then it talks about that there was a national campaign of containment of antibiotic resistance. Okay, in the 12th 5-year plan, we do not have now 5-year plan now. So in the 12th 5-year plan, we had a national action plan. Okay, that it talks about. And then it talks about various campaigns which government of India has taken out under the drugs and cosmetic rules in the year of 1945. Okay, it has taken out various campaigns where the rational use of drugs is basically promoted. Rational use of the drugs is basically promoted. Here, one prelims topic is very important, is Schedule H drugs. Schedule H drugs, okay, can only be sold by the prescription of doctors. Schedule H drugs can only be sold by the prescription of doctors. This is very important, my friends, can come in the prelims examination. Then one more point is very important, red border campaign or red line campaign. So these drugs which cannot be sold without prescription has a red border or red line. Okay, red line campaign. It is also called red line campaign or red border campaign for rational use of antibiotics. Rational use of antibiotics, and even the rational use of antibiotics in the animal husbandry, in plant, everywhere we have to use this One Health approach. We have to use this One Health approach. One more challenge why this antimicrobial resistance are basically increasing. The reason is that the inventions of antibiotics have slowed down. Okay, we are not coming out with new antibiotics because most of these diseases are basically the tropical diseases, and sometimes the world, okay, the rich countries are now not investing more. So if you see, antibiotics are not coming. Okay, new antibiotics must come to tackle this antimicrobial resistance, because what happens, I told you, it's a natural process only also. So if some antibiotic we are using for the last 50 years, so there will be many bacteria which will basically be resistant to that, and obviously their offsprings will also be resistant to that because of mutation. So in order to fight this antimicrobial resistance, we have to come out with new antibiotics, and there we have to invest money. We have to invest in awareness campaign. We have to basically train doctors so that this irrational use can be stopped. So this was it. Now let us try to analyze a question. Let us now try to analyze a question, mains question. What kind of question can be prepared from this topic? Okay, so in the daily practice sheet, my friend, I have framed one simple question. Let me just show it to you. Okay, let me just show it to you. Okay, so just 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'll just show you the question which I have framed. Okay, I hope this is visible to you. Okay, so let me just show you the question. Just 1 second. Okay. The question was very straightforward. I have picked the line from the editorial itself, and let us see how can we answer that question. Okay, let us see how can we answer that question. So the question goes like this: why drug resistance is feared to be the next pandemic? Why drug resistance is feared to be the next pandemic? So what should be your approach, okay, to tackle this answer? What should be approach? So what we have to do is, in the introduction, we can start with some startling fact, eye-catching fact we have to start with. You can say that as per the recent study by Lancet or WHO, okay, we can tell that it is the antimicrobial resistance or the drug resistance has turned out to be the highest killer among all the diseases. So like cancer, drugs, hypertension, that is another level. And this drug resistance is now becoming what? Bigger problem, bigger killer, bigger killer. So we can start with this context. We can start with this context. We can start with this data. Okay, that is the introduction. Then what we'll do, we'll explain briefly what is drug resistance. We'll start with the context or data, context or data. Okay, context or data. Okay, context or data. Then we can explain what is drug resistance. What is drug resistance? We can explain in 1 or 2 lines only 1 or 2 lines. Do not elaborate much. Do not elaborate much, I'm telling you. Okay, then drug resistance. Then what it says that why drug resistance. So drug resistance, then you can explain about the causes. What are the causes briefly only, because it says the focus should be why drug resistance is the next pandemic. So you can say that it is a big, we have to focus more on how it is basically impacting the health, infrastructure, health of the people, how many people are dying. So this data is very important. This data is very important. In the end, you just conclude with some suggestions that this rational use of antibiotics must happen, then the global action plan and the national action plan. You can talk about that also. Okay, but data is very important because it says that why drug resistance is feared to be the next pandemic. Okay, so data is hugely important for this question. Without data, your answers will be without legs. Okay, without legs. The data, without data, it will be without legs. Okay, so this is it. So this is a very important question already in the year 2012, I think. Okay, 2012, I think this question was asked. Okay, in 2012, this question was asked, and I attempted that year also. So this is an important question, important topic. Even this question can come in prelims, and obviously for mains this is very important and significant topic. So if you are liking these sessions, if you are liking these sessions, then why don't you hit the like button? Why don't you hit the like button? Why don't you subscribe the channel? Why don't you share this? Okay, because if you like it, if you share it, if you comment, okay, if you like, then it motivates me. It motivates me that I will be coming out with such more sessions. Okay, more answer writing sessions. The idea is to basically help you throw out this fear of writing, the fear of writing, the fear of answer writing. That is an idea. And one more thing I would like to tell here, that every day I am going to announce the answer of the day, the best answer of the day. I'm going to announce on YouTube. Okay, and I'm going to reward that person also if he is consistently doing good. If he's consistently writing good answers, I'm going to reward that person also. So let us take this as a challenge. Let us take this as a competitive, with competitive spirit, and let us write everyday answers. You can post your answers on the blog. I'm going to look at them and I'm going to announce the name the next day. So whoever will write the best answer, okay, I'm going to take that name in the next YouTube session. Okay, so if you want to be the winner, please write answers, please post in the blog. Okay, so that is a request from my side, and that will make this journey very exciting. We want excitement. Okay, we want excitement in life, we want excitement in preparation. If we are excited, if we are enthusiastic, then our performance automatically increases. Okay, our performance automatically increases. Okay, so let us make this journey very exciting. Okay, and I alone cannot make this exciting, or you alone cannot make this exciting. We are partners. Okay, we are partners in this success journey, and your effort and my effort together, when we come together, success happens. Magic happens when we come together. Okay, so please write answers daily, particularly the questions which I'm picking and discussing on YouTube. Okay, so I hope to see you tomorrow again at 10 p.m. Please share with your friends. Please collaborate with your friends, because answer writing, you know what happens, sometimes you learn from others also. Okay, so sharing is caring, and sharing is learning also. Okay, that's it. Bye, friend.